Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.
Welcome back to Two Jack Bros. I am Sidney. I'm sitting here with Ansley.
Hello.
And we have a guest today, none other than the Nate Marshall from Panties in the Mouth podcast.
What's up, man? What's up, man? So happy to be here.
Man, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're here. But before we get started, I have to tell you guys, please subscribe to the Patreon. Donate us $1. It gets you in all the content that we do. Not just the counterpart to this podcast, but we also do some fight commentary on Ansley's jiu-jitsu matches that she has, which is a pretty good time. And just get in there. Also, do all the things you do to podcasts that you support. Rate, review, subscribe, all that shit. Anyway, We're here now.
Woo.
Let's do this. Nate, I have to start off with this.
Yeah.
Ansley, she's never seen you before. She's never met you before.
Uh-huh.
And until you got here, she thought you were going to be a white person. How do you feel about that?
It happens. My name is Nate. My full name is Nathan. So it's never... Was it my voice? There's not. It
was a name. It was
just Nate.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's an honest mistake. The name's Nate. It's not. I'm not Jamal or nothing like that. It is what it is.
Yeah, but it's also, Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg. You're right, Nate. But it's name another black ass Nate.
Nate Diaz.
So next closest black is Nate.
He's gonna be an N for sure.
Trying to think. There's not a. Nah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
There's another Nate Marshall who's more successful than me, and he's in entertainment. He's a poet. But like, if you Google Nate Marshall, he comes up way before me. And oftentimes, like on flyers, you can tell they just Google my name, and then his face will be on the flyer because we look we got like the same skin tone. We both wear glasses, got the same beard and kind of fat faces. And he's bald, but he wears a hat a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's ended up on, it's happened at least 5 times that I can think of. I'll just send him to like Andy and Lemaire, like, here's another one. But
That's pretty funny.
yeah, he like way more successful, and he knows, and I know he knows that I exist because he not like within the last year or two, probably during the pandemic, put out like he wrote like some article or whatever about something, and it was about Nate Marshall. I felt like he was trying to put his flag in the name. It was like the whole article was like, there's so many Nate Marshalls out there. There's one that's a doctor, there's one that's a comedian, there's one that's it was like, I know what you're doing here, dickhead. You're trying to own this, but he's got way more followers than me on Instagram doing slam poetry. He's not bad either. That's why it's hard to hate it. Like if poetry is your thing and you listen to it, it's just like that's.
So are you a fan of the poet Nate Marshall?
I'll never say that, because I want to be top Nate, but he's not bad at what he does, so I can't.
Okay.
I can't shit on him either.
I'll tell you what, if I ever see that poet Nate Marshall, it is on site.
That makes me so happy.
Swear to God.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah. I was a little intimidated because I was like, man, he's going to come here with like cool shoes and shit. I'm going to be so embarrassed when he comes in my house and sees the shoes that I put on a pair of like my Air Max.
Yeah.
And I don't even wear these anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the bottom of them kind of got ripped, so I had to get new ones. But I'm like, these are the best shoes I got.
Are you wearing them now?
Yeah. Like,
those are solid Air Max.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, but they got like the bottom of them, like it scrapes the ground when I walk.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't embarrass myself.
But Nate always has cool shoes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
How long ago did you get those? And I'm not in the inside way. I might have a tip for.
Oh, these are years old.
Okay. Nike has a thing where if if they're doing what yours are doing and it's been, I think, less than 2 years, you can send. I just did it. You can. It's usually with the ones with Air. It's easier too. You send them back and they give you a gift card for the full, like whatever. Like they could have been 2-year-old sneakers, but if they were $200 when they were brand new, like even if you didn't pay that for them, like they'll give you. My brother's scams. He would go to like fucking like Goodwills or Marshalls or whatever and look for like nice shoes with Air. Even if he doesn't like them, he just put like a little pin in the air bubble and send them back. Eventually Nike caught on and they stopped working with him. But he got
fucking with your brother.
Yeah, but he got like 800. He started making new email addresses and shit. And eventually he said one time they called him. This was hilarious because it is like, I guess someone from Nike called him and just was like, they just kept saying his name. They just kept saying his first name. They just were like, James. And he was like, who's this? They were like, James, this is so-and-so from Nike. And they just kept saying his name, but he wouldn't say his name, but they kept going, James. Like, just to establish, like, we know it's you with these emails.
And really quick, Ansley, James Marshall is a black person. I don't want you to be confused by that.
His last, I don't want to say his last name, but it's not Marshall. We got different dads. His dad died when he was super young.
Okay. I mean, I have, let me see. I have, so Bobby, Nicole, Michael, Darius, Derek, Alicia, Angel. I have 7 siblings, and none of us have the same mom and dad.
None of y'all have the same, most of y'all have the same.
I don't have the same mom and dad as any of my siblings.
Okay.
Like either we have different dads or we have different
moms.
moms.
Okay. So it's not just all different moms, though. It's not like one dad. Your dad was just out there making babies. It was.
And so was my mom.
Yeah. It was a little bit of column A and B. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Darius, Derek, and Alicia, they all have the same mom and dad.
Okay. So you're like the most out of everybody.
Yeah, I am the most ghetto of my siblings.
You're the outlier for a good family life.
Yeah, I'm the step sibling. I am the ultimate step sibling. How many siblings do you have?
I have 4. I meant 3. It's 4 of us, but one of them, I actually feel real bad about this. My oldest sister, my dad had a baby with like he had a white lady with a white lady when she's in her 50s now. So whatever that time frame was ago, it was even harder than it is now to exist in that. So the woman he got pregnant never told him he had a kid and put it right up for adoption. And she found my dad when she was like 30.
Oh, wow.
And so like I asked my sister, I love her, but it's harder to be like me. I have a little sister and an older brother too, and we all grew up in the same household. My dad's not his dad, but he's been around since he was 4, and me and my little sister same mom and dad. So it's just hard to be as close with her as it is with the other two, because my little sister and my brother, we're like very close. We talk all the time. It's not even like those are my 2 closest people in my life, probably.
What's your sister's name?
Ashley.
Okay.
Did she?
You thought she's white too.
I mean, did she grow up culturally black?
Yeah, no, we're all pretty. Like, I'm probably the least black out of my family, but that's just because of my interests. Like,
yeah, I would say you're probably the most black person we've had on this podcast.
Yeah, like my family, our external family, I think they think we're bougie. We didn't even grow up different. We just didn't grow up in North Philly. We grew up in my brother did, and he's got, like I told you, he was scamming for sneakers.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Renton, which is another like fucked up area, but it's not North Philly either.
Yeah.
So and my little sister, she's got like a successful hair company she's got now, and so my other cousins try to do like cousin take advantage things, and my little sister don't put up with it, and I think that's caused a little turmoil between
that is in certain black families. Not letting yourself get taken advantage of is considered bougie. Yeah
100%,
which is wild.
And I don't know, some part of me sees both sides, but that's just, I know that's
well, I mean, you see both sides because you're compassionate towards the black plight. Yeah. Which I am not.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the black plight, dude. The black plight ruined my life. My childhood sucked because of black plight. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we went down that rabbit hole real quick.
But that's one of my favorite things about you is like, because that's like, it's how you feel. And I know you have to deal with bullshit around that.
I mean, bullshit comes at me, but I don't give a fuck.
And that's what I mean. That's what I was like, Sid's the man. Fuck all that dumb shit.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, if you wanna really come at me and make it physical, let's do that too. Like, I don't got shit to do. I
literally trained for this.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I've trained my whole entire life to fight off black plight.
Oh shit.
Yeah. All right. So you clearly know what we do on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
So,
bench press chakras.
Yeah. Right. So the whole premise of this podcast is to prove that you can have a fucked up or dark sense of humor and still reach a higher consciousness, right? Mm-hmm. And the way that we do that is that we bring a guest on here that's you, and we take you through the process of enlightenment so that you can do it, and we can vicariously reach a higher consciousness through you. Right?
Okay. Yep.
And so thank you very much for agreeing to do this.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody gets the same questions on the podcast. And so we'll start off with the first one, which is, Nate, what situation or experience in your life has given you the most information?
When you say that, you mean like a very specific, like this happened, or could it be like, all right, no, all right, here's what I think. I try not to talk about this a lot, but I feel like it is the truth. When I was younger, like in the 18, 19, something like that, the girl, we've been seeing each other on and off since I was like 16. It was the first like woman I ever probably like loved. Obviously we're kids, it does not that important when you go back to it, but it probably, I do think it mattered to me in some way. So we stopped dating, but we would still like, have sex on and off. And one time, one of my like closest childhood friends, still to this day, one of my closest childhood friends, he texted me at he was at a party and he was like, text me her name, was like, she's here. He's like, I think I could fuck her. And we were also still like, me and her were still like having sex every now and again, but that wasn't my girlfriend. Like, so, and but he was like asking me would I mind.
That's
basically
a tough thing to read.
Yeah.
Like, call me and say those words so I can like when you read words like that, you're like multi-layer. It's like multi-layer being like burned in your brain.
Yeah, I hear you, but at the time, I'll be honest, that didn't bother me. Like that was actually, for me, that's part of one thing that I really liked about it when I saw it, is like I was like, that's my man. It's like this is clearly a good friend. He felt this, that situation is tough to be in mentally. Like if you're like, oh, this person wants to have sex with me, I shouldn't do it. But but him reaching out to text, he really asked, like, do you care? Because if I would have been like, I care, he probably would have not messed with her. And I just go like, no, I don't care, because that's also how like I grew up. Like she was just a lady, I can't care about her. You know what I mean? Like that's
black plate shit.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? You're not even allowed to care about chicks. But all right, keep going.
And so that happens. He texts me. I say yeah. And then like later on that day, probably within like 2 hours, 3 hours, because like I was saying, we were still having sex. She texts me to like hang out with me, clearly trying to mess around. And I'm just trying to like I still like I did obviously care a little bit, so I was like, I can't, not the same day. And so like I'm seeing the text and I'm just like, no, I'm busy tonight. She basically we have like 4 texts back and forth where me going no, her going like trying to egg on the situation, really trying to see me. So in my mind, I'm just like looking at this like, yo, you're just trying to like you're trying to fuck me and my friend in the same day at me. Yeah. Like and so then I just respond back like, wait a day next time. And then I like 5 minutes later get a call from him like, yo, why'd you tell her everything? And then I tell him everything that happened and he goes, oh, I'd have done it too. And that was it. But that whole thing showed me how important, like loyalty, I think is probably the most important thing to me. And I know that about myself. Like I've learned that through probably that moment, how much I appreciated him being honest, how much I hated the dishonesty of what she was doing. And that might even be to like a fault in my life. Cause I know I look for disloyalty too much, probably to the point where I find it where it's not really there either.
How do you respond to your perceived disloyalties?
It depends who it is. Like I've been with my girl now for like 6-7 years, some long amount of time. I hope she don't feel bad about me saying it that way, but and like it'll be like something small that's probably I think I got a little psycho in me about it. Like sometimes she's too nice and I'm just like, why are you being so nice? What did you do? Which is insane. Or other times like, I don't know, I just turn off. I turn off real. When I think somebody's being disloyal, I just turn off to them as a person.
And if you don't mind me asking, is your girlfriend black or white?
She's white. She's a white lady.
How do you feel about that, Ansley?
I'm okay with it. I accept it. Yeah.
Her name is Lakeisha.
Lakeisha Johnson. She's actually the blackest person in my family.
Yeah, is she your first ever interracial relationship?
Like dating, yes. Like we're together, and like monogamous or whatever.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I don't. We don't have to get into this too deeply, but do you think it's any different than dating within your race?
I do, but some of that is, I think, reality, and some of it is I put on myself, and some of it is those are the two. Some of it I think is real, some of it I put on myself, some of it I make a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be. Like I have a very hard time, and it's nothing that they do. I have a hard time like going to do family things with her, but they're not like her direct family. Like her mom and dad are pretty cool. Her mom did say nigga in front of me the very first time we met, and the first time we hung out. We went. Do you know the thing they do in like Bethlehem Music Fest? They do it. It was Music Fest. Snoop was headliner, and her dad, whatever he does for work, he got like tickets to be in like a nice off the side area of it. So we went for that, and we got there early. And her mom was like, "We were here for sound testing, and all I heard was nigga this, nigga that." And and she was saying it at me. It definitely felt like she was trying me. But
yeah, that's a tough situation too, because it's like, she showed up early thinking that she was going to be there way before the niggas showed up. And she was being inundated with nigga this, nigga that. She's like, that's why we came here early.
So, like that day, and I think she did try to, I could be remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure she tried to insinuate I couldn't read also the same day. I had a kind bar, and she was like, or there was like kind bars around. For some reason she tried to give me a kind bar. Maybe they're giving them out. And she was like, there's a lot of good stuff in there, because I was talking about being hungry. She's like, there's a lot of good stuff in there if you can read what it says. But she wasn't like, it wasn't like a, it was like, I wasn't like squinting at things without my glasses. I just kind of laughed and was like, are you saying I can't read? And she was like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, in her defense, right? When you get to a certain age, like I'm 41. I know I'm a little bit older than you. But when you get to a certain age, things that are on glossy packages are really hard to fucking read.
So she might have just straight up been like speaking. Yeah. I get that.
She's like, I can't read this.
Yeah.
If you can read it, I promise you there's good shit in it. I've never read it.
Yeah. And I will say, she's a sweetheart now. That was just our first day, and they're very nice now. Her mom, her dad was supposed to take me shooting a while ago. COVID happened. I feel like if I say the next thing to you, it's gonna get you started on something. I'm like, all right, so
please say the next thing.
Yeah. So during last, May or 2 years ago, like May through July, he felt one way about a thing. She felt another way about a thing. I felt very much like she stopped talking to her dad over like the shit with like Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, all of that stuff. Yeah. And they are really just now, like within the last couple months, like rebuilding that. Yeah. Which I honestly,
no disrespect to your girlfriend, but she's wrong.
Sid, I said the exact same thing to her.
Yeah,
I was like, that shit, you can't break up with your dad for me. Like that's
over George Floyd.
It wasn't even like him. It was just it wasn't that. It was I don't even know. I wasn't on the phone call for it. Like, so I don't know, and I won't even ask, because part of me too is like that whole time it was just, if you were like whatever you believed a little bit, your phone, you open it and it's just going to show you your version of like what will add to your fuel to your fire. So if you're mad at this situation, it's going to show you black people looking crazy. If you're mad on the other side, it's going to show you white white people acting crazy. Me and Andy, actually, I think I just said this on a different podcast, but me and Andy, we had a lot of, this was like a very good thing for me with being like Andy as a friend. Is we had a bunch of the same videos come up that on my side it would be like, it would show something and it'd be like, a Nazi or a Proud Boy or some version of like that doing this, and then the exact same video, same person, and it would say Antifa or Black Lives Matter doing but the exact same videos, and you presented it away, and you go like, oh, there they go doing the thing they do.
Yeah.
So what was crazy for me is watching, and we'll get right into the podcast after this, but what's crazy for me is there was a popular thing where white people were exposing their racist parents for their racist thoughts. Yeah. And then they would like secretly record their parents saying things. Yeah. Be like, they're so racist. I'm like, looking at their parents, I'm like, that's what I think. Like, what the fuck is happening here? All right. So we're gonna hop into these chakras, right? All right. So, like we already said, everybody gets the same questions. And I actually was looking at my phone earlier because I wanted to add a couple things to some of these, and I'll write them on the board later. But Nate, actually, Ansley, you want to start the first question?
Sure. Nate, how did you learn to overcome fear?
I think I've gotten worse with it as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I used to be very good at getting through fear, except for like theme park rides. I'll never do roller coasters. I can't get over that. Did I already close a chakra?
Nah.
No, yeah.
Dude, I mean, I get it, though. Anything that makes me go,
yeah.
Like, I don't like the sounds roller coaster makes me make.
And it doesn't serve a purpose. Like I've been getting over my fear of flying, but that serves a purpose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you gotta go to a place. Roller coasters are just like, I want to feel like I might die, and then
unless you happen to be in an interracial relationship, because white bitches love it.
Yo, I know. Well, me and my girl went on a cruise before, my whole family before COVID, and they had a zip line at the top of it, and she just was like, I gotta do it. And I was like, for what?
We're already on the cruise.
Yeah. We're already in the middle of the ocean. We're defying everything right now.
Yeah.
But no, when I was younger though, the thing that used to get me through like fearful situations is being more scared to look scared than I was at what could happen. Yeah. So like with fights, I would fight like people bigger than me all the time, but I was more scared of looking like Nate's a bitch than I was like getting my ass whooped, which was the thing that happened all the time. I never won them. I just participated.
You got a lifetime fight participation trophy.
Yeah. Just got a good. He tried. It's got like a face with a black eye.
Yeah, that's cool. So then you got older and you learned that the consequences were worse than looking fearful. And how did you handle fear from that point?
I luckily I haven't been presented with too many situations where I really have to fight fear. The closest I've had was I was driving and I almost got into a car. So this is in Jersey, and do y'all have a tissue up there or something? I feel like my nose is running. I feel it's not that serious. Yeah, I just wipe it on my hoodie like a savage. But
we might be able to help you though.
But what was I gonna say about it?
A car accident in Jersey.
Yeah, and this dude was in there with a lady. He was an older Spanish dude. You know, like I just had that. He pulled up next to me, and I saw him like reaching down on the side of his car, and he was like, "I'm in here with my lady." Like he was talking mad calm, just calm as fuck. Like whatever happens next, I'll be like he was ready to go insane. And
wait, what? Wait, so a Puerto Rican pulled up next to you?
No, but it wasn't out of nowhere. Like to be honest, he was doing. Like you've been driving in Jersey. They want to inconvenience you. Like it's like if they can tell you're doing something, if you're about to pull out and you have space, now I'm flooring it so you won't be in front of me.
That is true.
For a split second.
Nobody in Jersey wants to be a helpful driver at all.
Yeah, it's almost they go out their way to be not. Like you turn on your turn signal, I'm speeding up now, and I'm staying there. Yeah, you can't. I've learned that. I don't use it. But so we like in his mind, I cut him off, but to me, he sped up when I was taking a turn with plenty of space.
Gotcha.
So he's behind me. We pull up at a light almost immediately, and he just rolls down his window. And at first, I was like I'm ready for whatever this is. I roll down mine.
Yeah, I'm about to get another participation.
Yeah, I'll get another one out here in these streets. But he was with a lady, so I know that already adds another level to it. I see his hand reaching, like he's got his hand in the way, and I'm just paying attention to all that. And he's like talking real slow. He's got like scars on his face. He had like a little teardrop, but he was old to the point where I don't think he got it like people get it now, where it's cool. Yeah. I was like, this guy's crazy, and he just like mad calmly was just like I'm in here with her. You cut me off. What do you like? I can't even remember exactly what it said, but his energy was like, "What are we about to do?" He stopped off for a second. I was like, "Yo, I'm going home." But I still feel like a bitch when I think about it now. Like I feel like I should have fought him and died, but but I probably never even told this story to anybody. I don't know what it is about this background. It's making me confess things.
Well, so I'm adding now to this question because the first chakra that we open up is the survival chakra, right? Which is located in your butthole.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So another part of survival so one part is fear, another part is anger. So Nate, what is your favorite thing to get angry about?
Right now the thing that gets me probably the most angry is politics. Like people talking about politics. It makes me genuinely mad. I don't know why. I think it's because it's all anybody does. It might be a hack thing to say at this point in time, but I don't get riled up a lot, period. And if I do get irritated, that's usually what it is. It's like I'll be like talking to my mom, and like right now, because all she does is watch MSNBC, so we can't talk without us talking about COVID and back when Trump was in office. I couldn't talk to her without him coming up in some way, shape, or form. But past that, I get real angry if I feel like somebody is like that I really trust is being deceitful or backstabby never mind. I was gonna say something that I feel like I shouldn't say because it's about a person, another comedian, and it just would be too much. But somebody was being shitty very recently for no reason. Like
somebody like a comedian was being shitty to you?
Yeah, that was a very long-term friend, and the way he was being shitty was just very confusing to me. But it's like sullied our relationship. We went from being very close to I don't know.
Okay, I hope it wasn't a member of the Panties in the Mouth podcast.
No.
You can see Nate Marshall do with Lemaire Lee and Andy Malafarena.
No, those are the two people. That's part of why we're so close. I don't feel like they would be. I get very honest, loyal, and everything that we've ever had in our lives that could be like they've always seemed very like these two dudes wouldn't turn their backs on me as people.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a chakra unlocked.
Yeah.
That's the first chakra unlocked. I appreciate you sharing your fears and angers with us. What do you think about that anger question?
I like it. I like it.
All right. So we'll keep it.
We'll keep it. Yeah. I feel like because we didn't. I guess Andy's a pretty angry guy sometimes, and then we like kind of missed out on that. Like it didn't come up till the very end.
Yeah. So here's the way. Do you have what blow up in anger fantasy do you play out in your head the most?
Probably like blowing up at like my girlfriend, but not physically or anything like that. Just being like, I don't need this. It just I don't need this at all. I'm out of here, but I don't feel like I want to feel that way. I want to feel like that I can walk away from it and just snap and be like, oh, I'm done. I don't need you. But that's not how I actually feel in my heart. It's that same thing that I talked about as a kid where it's like, I don't want to care. I've been fighting that for half a decade now, and just like I don't want to care about you, and it's like, God damn it.
I really like you.
Yeah, I want to walk away and never come back, but I can't.
I think that's how I asked that question.
Yeah.
We'll blow up an anger fan. That's the one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I hope she's watching this. I hope she's watching this.
I hope not.
All right. So that was the butthole chakra unlocked. How you feeling? You feel a wide open butthole?
Wide open
Hell
butthole.
yeah. All right. So this next one,
Whistling butthole.
maybe it's not open enough.
I'm just whistling, right?
It needs to. That's the sound we want out of that butthole. All right. So Ansley, you want to do this next one?
Yeah. I feel like...
Let's go, Ace. Come on.
Okay.
Putting her on the spot. A little bit.
So this next one is a segment we like to call My Bad.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a person, place, or thing... Wait, no. Oh, yeah. A person, place, or thing in the world that you feel like you could offer an apology to that would set your karma back to zero. So something out there in the world that might, like you can recognize in yourself, you might have done something disrupt your karma. You give it an apology, and now you're just kind of straight, and you can, let it off of you. Let it roll off your back. You don't have to carry it with you anymore.
I like the way you did that.
Yeah, I think if I was, I don't know. I think I'm good about apologizing when I think I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong a lot. So, but I'm probably wrong all the time. If there's I have a cousin that I used to be real close with, but we don't speak anymore because I don't really fuck with my aunt anymore. Mm-hmm. Cause this was like a like a childhood cousin we were very close growing up.
Cousin? What does
No,
that even
I
mean?
mean like since kids, like you have your cousins that you grow up where you don't like you're around.
Yeah.
We grew up in Philly together. We lived right across the street from each other until they moved to Virginia. But so my aunt, was a pastor. My grandma was getting real sick, and my grandma like managed to she. I think just had a high school diploma, managed to get like do very well for herself and like she made good money in the stock market.
All right, shout out grandma.
Yeah. And as she was getting older and getting like sick, she had a bunch of money put to the side for my aunt and my mom to get when she died, like over $100,000 for each of them. Sick. And my aunt was like staying up there with her while she was getting old and sick and like senile and yeah, you already know. So like, long story short, by the end of her life, which was kind of recently, like within the last like 3 or 4 years, her and my mom realized that was all gone. Like it was probably like $8,000 left. And my aunt was like a pastor, teacher. But I used to remember seeing she had like a nice car. She'd always have like real nice purses and shit. But I just thought she was stealing from the church. So
I knew she was stealing.
Yeah, I still think it was from us.
I just thought you were just stealing from the parishioners.
But like still like won't acknowledge that she fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But through cutting her off, I've kind of cut off a cousin I was real close with. And that does feel shitty. Like it does. But I don't know. Yeah. She's rocking out with her mom, who's a whole asshole. So it's hard. It's hard to navigate that. I don't know that would reset my karma, though. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
a pretty good apology.
Okay.
It's a pretty. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, how did it feel saying that? Do you want to take the apology back?
I don't want to take it back, but part of me is like, she don't support me anyway. She's not going to listen to this. Like, if she does, this will be out of spite. Like, what's this nigga talking about? And then it will surprise her. She'd be like, oh, me.
I mean, but do you feel good getting that off your chest? Like, have you ever mentioned out loud the potential to even apologize to her for that? I've discussed it with my brother and sister. Okay.
But not apologize to her, just talk to her again. Just be like, yo, cuzzo, just act like nothing's happening. But I also feel, I think more than anything, I feel like I definitely said an apology I was comfortable with, not one that would fix karma. Like I have others that I feel like, I shouldn't have brought that up.
All right, so let's go with, so what do you think would fix your karma then?
Fuck.
Yeah, I'll edit that out. I will not.
No,
not edit that out.
No, yeah. No, that was the easy one to get off. The other ones I think about it like one that comes to my mind. I think I feel guilty about even bringing this up because I'm in a whole another relationship for years. But I did have a woman I was dating a long time ago who was like very like she was a Jehovah's Witness when we met. Was like a good person, didn't smoke, drink, do anything. She started doing all of those things like with me, and then like I was a piece of shit, you know.
Yeah, you're like, you changed.
Used to be such a sweetheart. and you know, just the way I left that was definitely fucked up.
You turned out a Jehovah's Witness and then bounced.
And they were warning her the whole time. She had like I forget what they have people who were like higher up than them who like show them the way. And I remember this lady telling her, she was like nitpicking dumb shit. She was like, his car's back windows are tinted. What was that for? And I was like, yeah, she's just an idiot. But she was warning her. She was like, boys like him, this, that, and the third. And I was like, man, I'm a great guy. We'll be together forever. And
it's like, listen, if I know anything about Nate Marshalls,
they're white as hell.
Wait, do they kick Jehovah? Like, she doesn't get kicked out of
they
Jehovah's
get
Witness.
excommunicated.
Did she get kicked out, or was she allowed back?
I don't.
You don't even know.
I don't.
You
Yeah,
left her.
Excommunicated.
Yeah.
I don't know if she got back or not. I know she. Well, I mean, there's little other things to why we left her. Like I could tell she wanted a kid. We was like too young. Her little sister had one, and so she had a nephew. She was like a regular hood Puerto Rican girl. She was ready. She was ready at 17, but like waited till she was a little reasonable in her 20s, and I just didn't want that either. But I don't remember what made me shit on her.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, now how does that apology feel?
That one actually feels good. That one feels genuine.
There we go.
I felt, and I also want to apologize to my current girl for even bringing up that bitch. It's not. She ain't shit. It was a bad thing on me.
All right, that's a chakra unlocked for sure. All right, and that's the pleasure guilt chakra located in the pelvis. Swing them hips now. All right, so Nate, how do you move past disappointment?
I don't move past it well at all. But I think I try really hard to not move past, to not be disappointed. Like I go into everything worst case scenario is going to happen. So usually I'm like a little surprised by not, but like I always am going into things like the worst is going to happen, or at least mentally preparing for the worst. Like it could go this bad. And then if it doesn't go that bad, I kind of, don't have to deal with it.
Well, I mean, so what about when things do go bad, and then you're disappointed? Like, how do you keep going? How do you muster up the energy to move past something that disappointed? And even so, like, better yet, like, can you think of a time you've been the most disappointed in yourself?
It has to be myself.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I'm sure there is one, and I'm sure I'm not letting myself think about it or like say it right now. It's like little shit I get disappointed in myself. I don't really, I get disappointed. I dwell on like little things, like, but I'll harbor them too much. It'll be like I'm hanging out somewhere with like higher up comedians and I don't talk or I say the wrong thing, and now I'm disappointed in that. Like I'm thinking about that thing for a whole year.
Yeah.
Like a one that's in my mind right now is I was somewhere where like it was like Big J was around and he said something to me, but in my mind I was like, he's not talking to me, he's talking to the dude next to me, because it was somebody who I'd imagine him talking to, and I just didn't say anything, and then I saw him do a weird look and then just actually say something to the person next to me. And now just for like 6 months I've been like, that was my chance to have a conversation with one of the greatest comedians out of Philadelphia. But I didn't want to say that here on a Philly podcast. It felt bitch ass to say. Actually, can you edit that out? You don't have to.
Yeah, I'll edit that.
It's this background. And that sage.
Yeah, there is some sage on the table. It's hard. So And so the other question is with this is now part of this question now. Nate, what is your favorite thing to be jealous about?
Money.
That's some black plate shit.
And I don't get jealous at like other like people's money. I'm specifically thinking back internally, like in my relationship. Like my girl we moved up to Jersey, we're like broke as hell, and she's done so good like with bettering herself, and I pretty much stay stagnant. Like our podcast gets a couple listeners, and that's the best I got. like we broke 100, and it's
So donate to the Pennies in the Mouth Patreon,
yes, please.
Let this man stop green eyeing his girlfriend's money.
And doesn't put it like she's in no way like you broke ass, but I do think what was the question again, just so I don't go
your
off
favorite
topic.
thing to be jealous about?
Yeah, that, and I think I can get jealous in just relationships in general, but it's mostly relationship shit for me. Jealousy, it's like it's I again back to the loyalty thing. I start looking for things that are disloyal, but it's not like I don't get jealous at like if she's having a conversation with a dude or something like that.
Yeah.
But the second I can be like, that conversation was too something. Like if I can make it somehow fucked up in my mind,
laughing a little too hard at that.
Like you nigga not funny. You've seen so much comedy. Like that shit wasn't that funny.
Well, let me ask you this question: knowing that Lemaire is an undefeated grappler in the Philly comedy scene, and he's beat up several people bigger than him, you get a little jealous about that?
He's trying to start something.
No. Can't break the panty boys up, but
because it's like he's got a bunch of participation trophies with fighting people. Lemaire is undefeated.
Fair.
No. See, the thing about Lemaire though, he's got weight too. We're about the same size, like height wise, which bothers me that nobody notices that. He's also very short, but he's round, so it doesn't get acknowledged. But we're the same height. But so he's got all that weight on him. I was fighting people bigger than me height wise and like bigger than me.
Yeah.
Like there was a video of me like in high school, like somebody like had me against a locker and then just like brought me to the other side of the hall. I remember talking to this thick ass Dominican girl. She didn't know it was me in the fight because it was old flip phone, like blurry footage. She was like, "Did you see the fight? I saw the video. This little guy." I think I said I was like, "Yeah, that was being smart." The fight was better than that. It's just he only got a short portion.
When I got my feet back on the ground, it was on.
It was close.
Yeah. Also, too, that is fair. Like of the people that Lemaire fought who are bigger than him, Lemaire would probably displace more water if you put them in buckets. You dipped each of them in a bucket. All right, man. That's a chakra unlocked, and thank you for sharing that, man. The jealousy thing was a little bit new, so thank you for even digging deep to find something to say about that. Right. So we appreciate that.
I'm going to lie about the name of your podcast to my girl.
It's called Pennies in the Mouth Patreon.
Get her to subscribe.
All right, so that was the gut chakra. That deals with confidence and self-esteem, which is why we talk about the disappointment and then the jealousy, right?
Okay.
So now we're going into the heart chakra. And this has to do with love and compassion. And so what have you learned from grief?
What have I learned from it? It is unacceptable to say I don't know if I've learned from grief yet, right? That's because I feel like right now I think I'm going through a grief, so I don't think I've like most of the grieving I've done has been two things I can think of is my grandma dying, which the hack thing is it gets easier, like it gets easier and shit, but I'm currently feeling real like bummed out because my mom is very overweight and I'm watching her not try to be better, and it's almost like in my mind I'm just like, yeah, I'm watching her, like she's not like clearly dying, but I'm aware of her age and her weight and the way she's moving, and like watching her. She could
be bulking up to fight Lemaire.
I'm gonna fuck Lemaire up. But she, like, we had convinced her to get like go see I forget, like some sort of specialist about like weight they were going to, and then probably maybe get like a weight loss surgery,
like
but
an endocrinologist. Are those the ones?
I don't think so, but I'm not positive.
That's all I had.
Yeah, it's a good try. It sounded good.
Thank you for the support.
It's like before you go get like the fat surgery, you have to go see people and then try to not be fat for like 60 days or something. And she had her first meeting scheduled for this past Friday. And, you know, me and my brother called her to see how it was going. And she was like, didn't go to it, canceled it, and then but like was wording it to us like she rescheduled, but then through something else she said, we realized like, oh, you didn't even reschedule it, you just canceled it and weren't going to do it. And I've been telling him, I was like, because we talk about this a lot actually, between him and my little sister, and it's like, mom's lazy, like, and she's been lazy forever, and so trying to like it's sad to like realize like, oh, you're being lazy, and you're not gonna not be lazy until you're not here anymore, and we all want you to be here, but sorry that this isn't funny. I feel like that got not funny.
Well, it's truthful. I mean, again, like this podcast reaches people on multiple levels, right? Yeah. So was she big when you growing up?
Yeah, she was big since I've never known her to be skinny, but she wasn't like she is now.
Okay.
I think she probably put on like there's pictures, I've ruined it. All of her pictures before I was born, she was in good shape, and then anything after, it's, you know. And
She's Puerto Rican? No. Man, so I mean, but that's
so I don't think I've learned from it yet, because I'm still like feeling that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna consider that a heart chakra unlocked just for sharing, you know, that thing you're currently
Is that another participation trophy? Just racking them joints up.
It kind of was.
Yeah.
That's all I'm good for.
Yeah, I mean, but we'll take it. I mean, that's like, but I mean, I something about that.
It's insightful though, like because then like learning from grief, sometimes you're learning that it's just there.
Yeah,
and, like it's something you have to deal with. It's
that for real might be. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of. I keep like the word. I'm sorry, but the word I keep coming back to say is like that is a heavy thing to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't mean it like that. But that's like the only thing. But it's like my dad, for example. He's like an alcoholic, but he can't just quit now. He's too old.
Yeah.
And you know, cold turkey quitting alcohol kills you anyway.
Yeah.
So my dad used to be smart.
Yeah.
My dad was one of the smartest people I knew. And the alcohol just fried his brain to the point where he just is not.
Damn.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, man, because like I used to look up to my dad for the clever way that he solved problems, and now it's just Yeah, so I get that. I get what you're talking about there.
Like watching him not be himself anymore and shit.
Yeah. It's heavy. It's a heavy thing to deal with. So we will consider that a heart chakra unlocked. Ansley.
Yeah.
Take us to the next one.
All right. This next one is your throat chakra. So what is a favorite lie that you have told, and you get extra karmic points if it's a lie that's still in rotation?
A lie. I feel like I just tell little lies. Like, I mean, I have a funny one. All right, here's one. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Because that's too not. It's not just me. I'd be bringing in other personal shit about somebody else.
Like somebody else who's also in on the lie.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
And but it won't affect them as much as it'll. Yeah, I don't. Now, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like just like a favorite? Like this is just I throw this out here if I don't feel like doing something kind of lie, or
no? I mean, it could go back as far as it needs to go back for you to tell that. But just like, you know, you're a lie that I don't want to say that you're proud of, but I mean, that's kind of what we're asking.
Yeah.
To
Oh, like a
One
lie.
that tickles you, kind of. You enjoy.
I like that I tell that lie.
I have like different ones that it depends on what group, like depending on who you ask. I lost my virginity when I was 12, but it was 16. You know what I mean? That's a dumb one.
Yeah, it tells black people 12.
Well, I tell everybody the real thing now, but people who like I have like some people, like I have two of my friends who I'm close with. I'm like they don't support me at all. They're actually my two closest friends from high school, but they've seen me do stand up like once, and we talk every day. But so they won't. They'll go out their way to not listen to this. If they saw it, if they stumbled across it, they'd be like, "Oh, Nate's on this episode. Skip."
Yeah. But they think 12.
They think 12.
And did they think that since you were 12?
They thought that since I was, because I knew them when I was like 11. I got kicked out of school, and then I got
fucking. That's what you told me. Kicked out for fucking.
No, for losing fights. I kicked out of school for losing too many fights.
They like looked at Nate. You have too many participation trophies.
So this is a school of winners.
You gotta get one.
So I got kicked out. Then I went to Catholic school again for a couple years. So I got kicked out of Catholic school before that, and when I came back, I was like, I was fucking at Catholic school, and then I got kicked out again from that school and went back to Catholic school. They let me go back, and then I told them, I was fucking back there. Like I just was lying everywhere I went. That was a fun one.
That is pretty.
They just
fun.
kept kicking you back and forth between two schools.
Yeah, the first time I got kicked out of the Catholic school, it was I was just like, I had ADHD. I still probably have some sort of like the ADD part of it. And they just couldn't, like they weren't built to take care of that. They didn't have any extra like programs. It was just like, this is the class. He's disruptive. Sorry. And so I went to public school then, got kicked out for fighting. And then I went back to Catholic school and I got kicked out for the last like week of school was jeans days. And I always liked taking pictures, so I came in with like a disposable camera and like managed to convince a couple of the girls in class to like let me like take pictures of their butts and their jeans and shit like that. And then they kicked me out for that.
Was it after the pictures were developed or like just for snapping the shots?
Just for snapping the shots. Still got the pictures to develop. I was trying to do jokes about this kind of recently because I thought about this again kind of recently. And it's hard to talk about in front of people. They're like, "You're telling me a story about kid butts." Like, but the whole thing I was trying to get across is like that they did. I took them to Rite Aid, and someone back there developed them pictures of them, put them back out there. And the reality of that is insane.
That is insane. Here are your kid butts.
Yeah, I like to think that maybe it was somebody back there who like, who's like. Did call the cops and then saw it was just a kid and was like, give him his butts. Give him his butts.
I feel like the Catholic school would be like, see, this is why we can't wear jeans. Like, look what happens.
Yeah, like the stint day. They were immediately proven right. Like the jeans are the devil's work.
Yeah.
But I heard they had kicked out 2 other people that year too. I think like our class in general was like we were fucking up. So
yeah,
that was the last straw.
It's pretty sick. That's a good lie. Fucking at 12. I did lose my virginity on my 13th birthday.
No, that does rule. That's amazing.
I mean, I was kind of raped in a pool. I was I
Again,
woke up
pretty dope.
Yeah, I woke up on my 13th birthday and was telling everybody I was going to lose my virginity. Like everybody, like my best friend's mom. She's like, "What are you going to do for your birthday?" I was like, "I'm going to lose my virginity." You said that? Yeah, I said it to everybody, adults, everybody.
How did she respond to that?
Everybody laughed. Everybody was just laughing at me. And then I went to a pool. I was telling everybody at the pool that I was going to lose my virginity on my birthday. And then this girl, Aisha, was like, "Yeah, you are." And then she pulled me into the corner of the pool. And she did all the work. Like she did. I mean, of course, this is my first time even being around sex. Yeah. So she's like, she just knew so much.
Yeah.
You know, like
was she older?
No, she was like a year younger than me. So she lifted up my swim trunks, like my one leg, and
she already
took
had
out
the
my
move.
Number,
yeah,
and then like moved her bathing suit to the side.
Yeah,
it was just like. Dude, she inserted my.
Did
Dude,
more
it's
people
crazy.
get in the pool after that?
Man, it was. I mean, it was like nobody got out of the pool. It was just like nobody even knew what was going on. She was so slick about it.
Yeah.
And the whole entire time, I was like, why does she know this? Why does she know how to do all this? Yeah. So
I can't stop thinking about people swimming around your first load. Just like what the fuck?
yeah, it definitely happened. Like I definitely like had I knew something was happening and I pulled out. Luckily, she had a kid like 2 years later. Like so that could have been me.
Yeah,
So I got lucky. There. But man, that was a throat chakra unlocked, Nate. Appreciate you just crushing these chakras. So now we're getting up into the more metaphysical of the chakras.
Okay.
This is the third eye chakra. This has to do with like an intellect and an open mind.
Okay.
Right? And Ansley, you want to do this question?
Yeah. What is something that you've always thought of as separate, but you're learning that they are the same?
Nah, what I was about to say was gay as hell. I was gonna say friends and family.
I mean, if that's your answer, that can be your
Yeah.
answer. But how are they the same?
Because I feel like once somebody's 100% that to you, like a friend, they are family, and they're like you go the same lengths for them that you would for family. But family can also so family gets that like immediately, but they can also be cut off for being fucked up, just like a friend can. But they both at some point can get that same level of like love and clear dedication. Like if I have like friends that are so close that if they got into problems with family, I could choose like the two I was talking about who don't support any of my dreams. I would still choose them before most of my cousins or anything like anybody past my brother and sister.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say friends and family are the same because if you work at Foot Locker, they both get 30% off.
I thought about it. I used to work at a Reebok, and that was part of why it came into my head. Is like we did 40% off for friends and family.
Yeah, right? I worked at a Foot Locker. We had that friends and family every 3 months. We had like a friends and family thing where your friends and family could come in and get mad discount.
Yeah, they try to give you like a coupon for bringing them in or some shit. At the place I used to work, they give you like if you made $1,000 for the company, they gave you $25 on like a gift card to Best Buy or some shit like that.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it was definitely hustling my family. Like, come here, get these Reeboks.
All right, that's good.
Yeah,
Friends and family, I get that, and I appreciate. Man, I understand that one too.
Yeah.
Friends and family, because that I think people do try to. I don't know. Maybe it's like people that grow up in better families.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a way, like I told you before, I had so many step siblings that you learn to make family out of what is there.
Yeah.
Right? So, Ansley grew up with a family.
Yeah.
So she's like, friends and family, they're not the same at all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how do you?
No, I totally agree. When you were saying it, I was thinking of as like, as you get older and like, we have our own kids, and like this core family, like the people that you learn to trust your kids with.
Yeah.
Like those people are like family because you're like, we're getting into that weird age where it's like, can I go to a sleepover? And you're like, I don't know that dad. No, you can't go to that house,
Yeah.
But then you realize that you have like these certain other families around you that you're like, you trust 100% with your kids.
Yeah.
Like that's family.
Like you'll take care of. That's something that would have never crossed my mind yet. But yeah, like that is a lot to do, I guess, is to be like, take care of my kids or take care of somebody else's.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, we're moving right along. Nate, we're up at the last question for the regular episode. Do you have time to stick around for the Patreon?
Yeah.
Of course. So, Ansley, you want to do this last one?
Yeah, this is a 2-part question.
Okay.
These are all my best imitations of Sidney. What is one thing
You're
you
not
can't
going to
give?
explain the chakra a little bit?
Oh, this is your crown chakra. This is like, we did the butthole ground you to the earth, and this is your connection to above. So this is like, once this is open, like your energy can flow.
I'm flowing.
Full avatar state.
Yeah. So the first part of the question.
How much did the Lemaire love that analogy? Avatar.
I only used it with you and him.
Just with black nerds. That's fair. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So one thing you can't give up and why? That's the first part of the question. And the second part is, what would giving it up mean?
Nailed it.
Right now, I'm actually trying to not give up weed. Weed is like my favorite thing. Like I hate how that sounds, but it really is. And also, but I think I'm kind of turned into an alcoholic. But nah, the reason I'm only going to say nah is I thought that for like I was feeling that way on like this Tuesday that just passed.
It's a very specific time frame.
You know why it is? You know what it is? Because the reason why I know is we were doing the podcast and I had put like I always try to, because Andy and Lemare drive to my place, so they come the farthest, so I try to like, we drink and stuff on the podcast, so like I'll buy the drinks or whatever. And 2 weeks of, New Year's was getting ready to come up, so I bought like some bottles of alcohol and shit for all of us, and we had like a little bit of it. And then I realized like 2 weeks later going to do the podcast, and I just had none of it left, like no beer, like a bunch of beers, 2 bottles of whiskey and 1 of cognac, and like gone. And I'm like, my girl doesn't drink anymore. She quit during the first year of the pandemic. Just not like she was getting fucked up. She was just like, I'm not going to sit home and just get drinking and getting fat and shit. And
Your girl sounds like she's got it together.
she does, and just exists around me. It does. That's why part of it, she's like I could tell, like I think she would want to get married, but then I'm like, you're gonna come to your senses. Like it's, and I don't feel like going through a divorce. I'd rather just go through a breakup. But what was I gonna say about that? I've definitely killed my short term memory. What do I gotta say about that? That's weed. Like that's, but
Tuesday.
Oh
You're
yeah.
not alcoholic?
So no and all of that, and just been drinking and driving a lot lately, which is what it is. Crimes, but
we're not cops.
Yeah. So drinking and driving a lot, but I've been trying to cut that out.
That was back-to-back 2 members of the Panties in the Mouth podcast mentioning drinking and driving.
Yeah.
Wait, Andy did too?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we get kind of drunk. It's not safe. I mean, they always hang out for hours afterwards and then drive home. But but more than anything, it's also I felt like within the last like month or two, I've been doing all of that to excess, like weed. Like I've been getting like not just a little high. Like I've not been just smoking and chilling. Like I've been smoking like, I don't know, close to an eighth a day, and it's
It's expensive.
Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating there a little bit, but it's like I also have a really good like dealer that guy, but
again, we're not cops.
Yeah. And also me and my girl, like we buy weed together, but so it's not all my money, but I'm poor. Subscribe to the page, I promise. But that like just I feel the question was, what can I live without, or can I live without?
You can't give up. One thing you can't give up, and why, and what would giving that up mean?
I kind of think it's part of my personality too. I feel like not ever smoking me. The one thing I notice about me, because I've gone like I'll occasionally, this is another thing, I like to go on like breaks, like 2 weeks, whatever, and then come back just to reset, which I've had a real hard time doing. I've been trying to. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna not smoke today, and then by the end of the day, I'm like, I gotta get to sleep, and I'll smoke, or I'll smoke first thing I wake up. Like last night, I said I was going to, but today's gonna suck, so I'm gonna get high. But I do think it's not like I know when I don't smoke, I get my energy goes up in a way I don't like. Like it's not like I'm more active. Like I still make sure I get shit done when I'm high, but I get like chatty, and I don't like chatty me. I feel annoying. I'm like, and I try to goof more, like I'm on too much, and that sucks. I hate people who this is their personality, like where weed is their personality, but I think it's quietly a part of my personality. And I don't know what me not ever smoking, like not being somewhere with a J or one of my little vape Johns or something is, I don't know what that guy is, so I don't want to. He's probably fine, but
Probably a good guy. Probably one of the most successful Nate Marshalls.
he might beat the poet, but this stoner Nate Marshall just.
Man, that was it. How do you feel?
I feel open. Butthole to head.
Hell yeah. Yeah, do you feel enlightened? Do you feel like you reached a little bit of a higher consciousness through this process?
I genuinely do, and I didn't expect to.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, so that was it. Nate Marshall, you were amazing. That was great, man.
Yeah.
And again, Two Jack Bros Patreon, get in there so you can see us do, basically we're going to unlock the chakras of Nate's shadow self on the Patreon. The shadow self is the self that you kind of push down, that you try to deny, but exists in all of us, is the dark self. You know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And that's what the Patreon's all about, and you can come check us out and do that. $1 gets you all of the content, plus all of the other things that we do on the Patreon. Listen, Panties in the Mouth podcast, Panties in the Mouth Patreon. Get in there. Support these Philly podcasts, because in a little bit, I mean, we're about to take the comedy scene over completely. And you're going to feel very dumb for not being on this early.
Because these Patreons are going to be $2 soon. We're jacking the prices up. No.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Thank you so much for all of the support. We appreciate it. And we are out.
See ya.
Peace. Thank you guys for having me.
Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.